So in my last video I covered vertical farming and how it can be a better form of agriculture for the future. Now in that video, one of the things I mentioned and talked a bit about was hydroponics. Now what hydroponics entails is growing something in a way where the nutrient medium is water. Now in reality it's not as simple as growing stuff in water and calling it a day, because in nature a lot of the plants that we grow for food usually grow in soil, and they use that soil as sort of a physical support structure. And so in addition to water, hydroponic systems need a way of physically supporting the crops. Now there are many materials that can be used for hydroponically grown plants as a physical support structure. What I have here is something simple. It's just some cotton balls that I've broken up into a large mass of cotton, and I'm going to use some of this as the physical support structure for the demonstration I'm going to show you today. So what I have here is my cotton. I have this pot which I 3D printed a while back. I've actually pre-tested this and it actually works quite well in terms of water retention. It holds water quite well. And in here I just have a weak solution of some of the fertilizer that I use for my algae. And what I actually have here is some spearmint. Now what I'm going to attempt today is to get some of these seeds and try to germinate them. Now according to some cursory research I've done, it takes about a week for spearmint varieties to germinate, and so in about a week or so I should see some growth if I've done everything correctly here. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now this is sort of a trial and error thing, so what I'm going to try and do is put some of my solution into the pot first. And I'm going to add some of my cotton and sort of partially submerge it so it gets a little bit of moisture. Don't want it soaking wet, just enough so that there is some moisture. What I don't want is for all of the fibres to clump up together, and as that will restrict the seeds a little bit too much. Now I do recommend that you wash your hands before you do this so that you don't contaminate the medium. Not sure if I've done that completely right, but hey, this is the first attempt. So what I've actually done is I've got some more cotton and added it to the medium, because I felt that the cotton that I had was way too wet, and so that would actually drown the seeds. But here I have my spearmint seeds, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some sprinkled all over the medium. I think that's enough. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for about a week and see how well these seeds germinate. So it's been about a couple of weeks now, and that was a complete failure. No germination was found, and I just ended up tossing all of it away. However, there is something I found online while doing a little bit of research, and it's a method that I'm going to try and have a go at. And basically what it involves is taking your cotton ball right here and creating a opening and putting your seed inside of it and then watering it. So what I've done is I've created a little canopy in a cotton ball, and I've placed some of my spearmint seeds inside of it. And what I'm going to do now is, with my modified syringe filled with water, what I'm going to do, because cotton is highly porous, which means it will absorb a lot of water, I'm going to just drop a tiny bit of water onto the cotton ball. So now I've wet the cotton ball with some water. It's not soaking wet, but it is damp. And now I'm going to close it up, and I'm going to wait for it to germinate. And I'm going to do this now with multiple cotton balls. So I've now done this with 4 of these, and I've placed them in my 3D printed plant pot. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it under some light. So what I have over here is just a standard incandescent lamp. And the reason I brought my seeds over here is because I don't think that the LEDs on my bench lights, which I was using previously to try and grow these, were really that strong enough. And so this incandescent bulb here is a little bit brighter, and so I hope that will assist in the germination and growth of these hydroponic mint seeds. And so in about a week or so I will give an update as to how all this is going. Now it's been a couple of weeks and I'm actually quite chuffed. Why is that? Well, because we have germination. I've successfully germinated some spearmint plants, or some spearmint seeds rather, and this really is the first step in my attempt at hydroponics. And this just proves that if you have some cotton wool and some seeds, you can grow something in your own home. Now, this is only the first step in the hydroponics process. Once the plant is more established, what we can actually do is take cuttings of this, sprinkle some growth hormone on what will be the root, and place that in water. And what that will do is it will actually grow on its own. And that way you can actually scale this up quite a bit, depending on how much space you have. Something important to talk about is lighting. If you're doing hydroponics, then basically you need blue and red light, or warmer and colder light. Warmer light and red light help stimulate a plant's growth. However, if they receive too much red light, they will grow dainty and brittle. You also need colder light, or blue light, to help regulate growth so that they will grow greener and lusher at the expense of growth rate. However, if they receive too much blue light, then they simply won't grow at all. For germination and propagation, warmer light is generally best. However, once a plant becomes more established, more blue light will be needed. So anyway, this has been my first attempt at hydroponics with spearmint. I may give updates in the future as to how this goes, and I hope that this will grow into a fully established plant. Anyway, that's all for me today. This has been the 9th installment of Edenia. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and bye for now.